patch me out because I'm hosting this one.
Oh.
Son of a God.
Okay, this is, hey, you know what? Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Hi, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. Yeah, I've got to call my friends to get on this chat. I'm all alone by myself. Let's see, try to figure out how to use Skype here real quick. There we go. And call you and you. Oh, I'm being
Hello.
Hi.
Actually, Richard, do you want to set up this call? Oh, you were already live. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Did you update the headline, or should I?
Oh
no, I got it.
Yeah, someone needs to do that.
Fatal Frame.
Fatal Frame.
4. Things.
I'd like to draw attention to the splash screen I got. This is just like wallpaper from Nintendo's Japanese website.
I love it. Okay, look, I understand that they're based in Japan. They're going to be biased towards their own country. I respect that. I have no problem with that. Except the level of stuff they get is so much better.
Oh, it's so much better. Yeah.
It's just out of whack, man.
Just across the board better, like in every way in the world.
Well, I feel like Nintendo maybe is just trying to stick to like the mentality of the 80s and 90s when all of us were reading game magazines and the people who really dug games knew that Japan got everything great.
Yeah.
And then they got... But that's not quite as true anymore, but it is with certain areas, like Nintendo systems, for example.
Yeah, I feel like that's changing, finally. That the period of time where Nintendo said, like, oh, here's this, thing that we've made, and it's only going to stay in Japan forever. Like, the fact that Tamagotchi Life got localized at all is at least something of a sign that that's finally changing.
Well, the really great thing about digital distribution is it cuts the cost of that so remarkably. If you don't have to make a physical product, like if you don't have to print the case in English, if you don't have to print the instructions in English and just actually make the thing, it's a lot cheaper, and that's great. I mean, so we get a whole bunch of games that we wouldn't have gotten otherwise, and that's awesome. But like the Club Nintendo rewards and wallpaper and packaging.
Susan, you and I talked about this just a couple of days ago because the Club Nintendo announced that their big platinum reward for the year was, you can download a virtual console game like Earthbound, or get like one of the cheaper full Wii U releases like Game and Wario.
Hey, can I ask the audience real quick if you are hearing audio for the game? You should be hearing a song right now. A very upbeat song considering the content, but let me know if it needs to be louder. Or if you can't hear it at all.
Yeah, hey,
the audio is coming
through. Said I got Earthbound. So that was the platinum reward here in the United States. Meanwhile, in Japan, if you just had like a few scattering of Club Nintendo points, you could get a Yoshi stuffed animal who's eating a berry.
And it's really cute.
And it's offensively adorable.
Yeah. The audio is a touch low. Although
knocked it up a little bit. So I guess we'll just jump into this. Real quick, I want to look up the name of this patch in case anyone's curious.
I think that would be a really good idea. I suppose we should welcome people, because normally there's a pre-show.
Yeah,
for our streams.
We're rolling right in.
But we were like, we're just cowboys today. We're like, F it, rules. Also, most of the staff really just wanted an excuse to play the Destiny beta, so that's what was happening before now. But now here we are doing Fatal Frame 4, which was a Japan exclusive. Yes.
And published by Nintendo right before they took co-ownership of the Fatal Frame series. And the weirdest thing is that it wasn't developed internally at Nintendo, and it wasn't developed by the internal team at Tecmo Koei, responsible for Fatal Frame 1 through 3. It was made by none other than Grasshopper Manufacture, the home of Suda 51.
Of Captain Wackadoo himself.
Captain Wackadoo. That's what it says on his business card.
It's true. No, he whips it out. It's like Suda 51, Grasshopper Manufacture, comma, Captain Wackadoo.
Captain Wackadoo.
But even though this is a Japan exclusive, we will get to hear English audio because...
you'll get to see
English subtitles because of a fan-made patch.
Yes. And this actually came out several years ago, and if you're trying to find it, you could Google Beyond the Camera's Lens. I don't think it actually has a name for it. It's just the fan translation patch. And you have to do a couple things to get it to run. Like, you have to install some like homebrew channel kind of stuff to your Wii. And I'm not going to show you how to do that stuff because I'm not sure if we're even allowed to do that. But there you go. Yeah, Alexander wants me out of profile, and I will be out of profile. I'm just futzing with things.
There's some futz.
Are we ready to play?
I want to see it.
Okay, so I have a question. So can we
Sure.
Can we get a synopsis of the basic plot of this one?
Ooh. Well, you've got, as usual, you have a couple of raven-haired maidens who are in a creepy facility. There's not really a mansion this time around, or at least not that I've seen. It's more like a hospital.
Always with the hospitals and the schools.
Right. But there's these two girls, and I don't know if they're actually, I believe they're sisters, but they have this memory of being at this sort of hospital area on this creepy island when they were kids, and I guess they find a photograph of it, and they go back to try to remember all the things that happened to them. And I played this for an hour or two, but it was a while ago, and I don't really remember much
Okay, great.
of it, so...
But also, so there isn't continuity from Fatal Frame to Fatal Frame to Fatal Frame.
I don't think that there is. 2 is its own independent thing, and
I think a lot of them do deal with the concept of the Shrine Maiden and sacrifices and things like that. And for the sake of the Twitch channel, I'm gonna up the brightness.
Good call, yeah.
Sometimes
it's connected, Susan, in the same way that like Silent Hill is connected.
Okay.
There are recurring motifs and like returning settings.
Right, but it's not like the character's story continues.
Have you played 3 at all? I know you're a fan of 2.
Not.
In 3, you play this woman who's a photographer, and her boyfriend dies, and she keeps having nightmares where she's stuck in the village that the girls in 2 were stuck in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, like, that's the connection there.
Oh, here's your first example of the patch coming through. Letting you know that they've done everything they can to translate the game, but
that's cool. The
characters will be speaking Japanese. So, beyond that, you're stuck.
Hey man, that's reasonable. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
And if it's super dark, anyone, let me know. Or if my audio is out of sync or anything like that. Because if I jump and I get scared, it has to happen at the same time as it does in the game. It'll be weird.
One of the reasons why I like the Fatal Frame games is because, like, I'm a big horror fan, but horror tropes and horror culture, things that are considered scary, varies a lot from culture to culture. So I really like having a world view of how horror stories are told. And yeah, I mean, Fatal Frame's horror stuff is very, very steeped in Japanese culture.
And the Fatal Frame games, along with The Ring, were actually some of the first things to introduce me to the concept of onryo, which are like the black-haired, creepy ladies you see in like every Japanese horror film. It's like a cultural thing for them. It's a kind of ghost. We would have like the boogeyman or something like that. They have this onryo, which is like a woman who. I think it's like if you did. I think the way the lore works is like if you die in some kind of emotional distress, you'll come back
hungry ghost, a I'm not even going to pretend that I know how to pronounce it properly. It's like Ure or Uri, which I love. I love that phrase, the hungry ghost.
Okay, really get creeped out with. This is what one of my personal.
Turn off my lamp here.
Something being put on your face. Like we just had that clip of them putting the mask. First person view of someone sticking a mask on you. Oh hell no!
Absolutely not.
Nope.
No, thank you.
Nope.
Okay, there we go.
Susan, you've created my new favorite phrase for when you have to stop playing a horror game, though.
Noping out.
Noping out.
and so now I'm walking, and now look at my dainty little running speed. Oh. Yeah, so we found the photograph. These two girls found a photograph that was taken on this island, and I guess they were young in the photograph, and they're like, hey, what's going on with that? Creepy masks on the wall. Creepy masks, another staple of both Japanese horror and the Fatal Frame games.
That is, your running is extremely dainty.
It's very dainty. It does not change. It controls pretty much like Resident Evil 4, by the way. So you've got basic tank controls. If I press down and the A button, or
is it all over the shoulder perspective? Because Fatal Frames 1, 2, and 3 had that sort of classic Resident Evil fixed perspective presentation.
Right. It literally just told me how to immediately turn around, and I have. I cannot successfully do it.
I know that this kind of is like pointing at the moon, but this is a good-looking game. And forget that there were some very, very good-looking games on the Wii.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely.
A very capable machine.
Oh, Alexander, the preschool in Dead Space 2, that is all sorts of nope. That is nope central. Is what that is.
Yes.
Nope.
Actually, that's why Dead Space 2 is my favorite of the series, I think, because it you go through places that they feel like real places, like people actually live there. It's not like the Nostromo, like just some weird ship that looks like big and metal. It's like, oh, a school, a hospital, like these are real places, apartments. That's why I like Dead Space 2. And since this is a Wii game, of course, I control my flashlight with the Wii remote. And it's also how you aim the camera later on. So, not to sound like a complete jerk, but I couldn't get into Dead Space 2 for one reason. Once Isaac Clarke started talking...
That's fair.
I wanted him to immediately go back to not talking.
No, that is fair. That I did not love that about the game either. It's also part of why, while I enjoy Dead Space 2 for the most part, I don't find it scary.
Oh yeah, it's not. And like even Dead Space 1 has some super freaky moments, but it's far more suspense. It's more aliens than it is Alien, you know. Yeah. And you never feel like anything less than, you know, a badass.
In Dead Space 2 or 1?
In 1.
Oh no! See, I disagree completely.
Oh really?
I don't think you feel like a bad. No, here. Okay, so here's what I love about Dead Space 1.
No, not the door. I'm failing. I'm sorry. I was trying to read this.
The key
sign here
may be here at this door. The thing I really love about Dead Space 1, the way it's constructed, is you know there is nothing but bad in front of you.
Yes.
But you have to save your life.
That's true.
Yeah, and so because normally in horror games, what is propelling you is the pursuit of a loved one, or revenge or something like that. In Dead Space, that's your reason for not leaving. Is I need my daughter, I need my husband, I have to whatever. In Dead Space, you don't have an option. Yeah. Nope. There is no leave it. You gotta go through all the bad. And
you're pretty much you are doing what you might be able to survive.
Maybe.
But chances are you're gonna die no matter what.
Yeah. See? And then you read, you get the audio logs about people cutting off their own legs and stuff, and it's like, but Dead Space 2 had the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star moment, which was terrifying.
The one thing that really took me out of Dead Space 2 was I could never understand a damn thing that Nicole was saying. They put so many like audio filters over her voice. I couldn't understand her. Like you have to turn on the subtitles, which can take you out of an experience.
Yeah.
So did you guys, when you were playing Dead Space 1 and 2 did this a little bit better, but you could still do the same thing, realize how to break the weapon system? So all of the ammunition you get is just based on what's in your inventory. It's not set into the environment. Like, you're gonna get the machine gun ammo and the rail bolts and all that.
Oh, right, yeah.
So,
make sure that you get ammo for stuff you have.
If you only carry one gun, which, if you, like that very first thing with the 3 lines on it, like, that is supposed to be an engineering
Plasma cutter, baby!
Plasma cutter, which is the coolest
It is, it's the best thing, and I love that.
I love the plasma cutter. So, I realized early on, like, oh wait, if I only have the plasma cutter, then all I'll get is plasma cutter ammo. And so I just leveled that up, and nothing else.
Oh, nice.
And then, like, by, like, the second objective in the game, you're unstoppable.
That's fair. Is there possibly a way, I hate to interrupt, is there a way for us to get those masks off the wall? Because they are freaking me right the F out every time we walk by them.
Afraid not. Ah! What is that? What does that sound?
I love the horror game noise.
Oh, what did, I don't know. Not appropriate decoration.
Did anyone happen to catch the tutorial that told me how to turn around quickly? Because I kind of ignored it.
It was the Z button was involved. That's all. There's it goes.
I thought it was the Z button.
It's Z and something. Anything. Maybe Z and down. That could be.
That's what I thought it was, but it ain't doing nothing.
Has your character's knees been super glued together because she is walking in just a dainty way that is absurd. Although perhaps no. Okay, here's how I'm choosing to interpret this. She's trying very hard not to wet herself because it's very scary.
Susan, don't you know that if you are a young woman in a Japanese video game, your knees have to be perpetually, like, locked together, and your right hand needs to be against your chest at
that's true.
50% of the time.
That's very true.
So here's a fun thing in this game is that items you can interact with, they glow under your flashlight. So actually flashing your light around the room to try to find important items is useful.
That is super useful.
It also takes away that it's always tough, right? Because you want things to be highlighted in the room so you don't miss them. But
see, it also does. I'm sorry. It also does the heavy rain thing where like I can press the A button to slowly reach out, but then if I let go, I stop reaching out.
Oh no!
So you can just go back and forth for an hour if you want. It's like, no, I'm too scared.
So, guys, I have a question for you. Is there a horror game that you love, but you recognize is kind of intrinsically terrible, like at a gameplay level?
Well, the original Resident Evil at this point.
That's why I asked. That's why I asked the question. Like Resident Evil,
it's unplayable. I can't.
You know, I don't want to be that guy, but like Silent Hill 2 is not. The
I haven't tried it since it came out. Is it?
It's actually, at least the Xbox version. I don't know if this got patched into the PS2 version, but I think they made it so the controls. No, I think it's in the PS2 version too, where they don't have to be tank controls.
Oh, okay.
Because you can use the analog sticks, and that helps things out.
I did not end up playing Fatal Frame 2 until 2010, and so it was late and relatively recent, and horror games controlled very differently. But yeah, like that is not a game that controls especially well.
Okay, now I have a counter question for you.
Sure.
Wait, hold on. Rely on Horror TV, which I assume is CJ, is telling me to fix that. What am I supposed to be fixing?
Oh,
Playing
like
something?
that. Oh, I think is Rely Her on TV saying that you should play Silent Hill 2 again?
Oh, well, that's fair.
Yeah.
Um,
Outsanity Sonic
So
06.
my light is glowing
That's
blue, which
not
means there's something here, but
orcs.
I don't see
When
it.
when your light glows, it means orcs are present. Okay, so you know the argument that playing Silent Hill 2 again. Yeah, no, that's totally fair. Silent Hill 2, scariest game I've ever played, by the way.
Oh,
With Condemned being the second scariest game I've ever played.
Susan, you need to play Condemned.
Oh dear God, yes you do.
Yeah.
Yes. Now it's not gonna look great because it was an Xbox 360. If it wasn't a launch title, it was darn close.
I have no problem with that at
It's
all.
a little ugly, but absolutely you have to play Condemned.
No, I understand that there's some dissension on this point. Should I play 1 or 2?
Well,
Some
okay.
people say 2 is the
1.
best.
Well,
Well, I play them both.
Oh.
is my advice.
okay. One is
Oh, this is messed up.
scarier.
Okay.
2 has better gameplay mechanics. But it does things like it improves the mobility of the hand-to-hand combat, for example.
Alright.
But it also does things like combos.
No.
So you'll be in the middle of this really, really tense situation, and 4X combo will pop up in the middle of the screen.
That's not tense.
No. So it's not a scary game, but from a strict, mechanical point of view, it is superior. The forensics in the second one are way better. I would love a spin-off game just of the forensics in Condemned 2. So they're both absolutely worth playing, but the first one's way, way, way scarier.
Yeah,
it was a launch title, says Blue Hermit Dog. Okay, yeah, it's kind of ugly.
I love how the Twitch delay lets you guys kind of blithely chat while I'm
you're freaking
terrified.
out.
7 seconds in your future.
Yo, you're so dainty. You're so dainty. But okay, so the counter question that I was going to have is this argument that the tank controls from the older games is on purpose to make you more scary because it lowers your mobility.
Now, this is an interesting question that we all want to get into, but we need to take a little commercial break really quickly. We're going to take 30 seconds, and we'll be right back, and then we're going to get into the issue of whether restrictive controls are actually good for making you scared. And for those of you with Turbo, you're probably going to listen to us get into it quickly. But Susan, so what is your take on that?
It's straight up BS.
Straight up BS?
Yeah.
All right. Why?
Because the controls, that's what the technology allowed for at the time. So the crappy controls were just a function of the time. If for some people it also made them feel tense, that's a bonus, right?
That's like the fog and
that's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah, although in Silent Hill they were more calculated about it. They're like, well, we can only technologically show this much. I know, we'll cover it up in fog, and then that led to the creation of the radio, which was genius. But yeah, for Resident Evil, no, it's BS. They're just janky controls because it was the PlayStation and it was new and they were janky.
Yep.
I guess I have to go here. I could probably use the map, and arguably I should be doing that.
Yeah, Rely on Horror TV says it all depends on how it's restrictive. Dread Out is restrictive but not broken. I do like the tank controls when I'm playing those old classic Resident Evil games, because you're dealing with those big fixed perspectives, like when you walk into this room, what you're gonna have to play, what you're gonna have to press if you're looking down from a ceiling or not. Richard, what's hunting you?
I'm trying to find it. Yeah, I'm trying to see what's going on.
No.
Uh-oh. I don't like where this cinematic is going at all.
It's a very no.
I'm gonna just sit here and wait to find out what he's knowing about. Oh, nope! No. No.
Ah! Oh boy.
Alexander, is this...
Okay.
Alexander, I apologize. This is what I get for getting yelled at by Alexander for 2 hours straight.
We're very similar people.
Richard, is this like the other... oh god, look at... No. Is this like the other Fatal Frames in that there's the intro sequence that you play and then it starts doing the story stuff?
Right, so I'm sort of establishing the narrative here, and then you will finally get the camera obscura that you can use to actually fight back against these ghosties. I think that may actually be happening just about right now.
It.
So,
what? Go ahead.
Susan, are you pumped about the fact that we're getting a HD Fatal Frame on Wii U?
I am, actually. Yeah. I am, because I would like to see different kinds of horror. I would like to see some fresh survival horror, and although, admittedly, Fatal Frame isn't fresh, it is different in that it kind of gives you a weapon. Kind of. Because right now we're in two different places. We're in the... You have absolutely no way to defend yourself at all, so you have to run away and hide.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're given shotguns and flamethrowers and spear guns, right?
There's a nice note that I just discovered. It says, "I do not think that this island will need the power of the camera obscura. I hope it is unnecessary."
Yeah.
What this series... The brilliant thing about the Fatal Frame series is that in order to confront these monsters and these ghosts, like at the most effective way you can is to let them get as close to you as possible before you snap your photo, because that does the most damage. But it also means you're going to be the most terrified because it's up in your face. And that's why I like these, because it's like you have to face your fears, as it were. And that's what makes this series really interesting.
And that's the thing. I like the idea that you're defending yourself, but you are incentivized to let them get as close to you as possible. And you have something in front of your face.
Yeah.
Which makes you extra vulnerable.
Oh god, that moment when you're like getting one lined up and it starts to lean in, and you know, like, you gotta wait, it's not the critical moment yet, and it's just leaning forward. Ugh. Gross.
Alright. It's go zapping time.
It's funny, I can automatically, like, it's the first and only time that I really want to use the Wii U gamepad as a weapon with gyroscopic controls.
Nope! I failed. I feel bad.
I thought you were very good at video games.
But he's so bad at ghosts.
Sorry, I'll get it. I'm gonna get it this time. Yeah, bring it on.
Bring it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch. Oh wow, you really did fail on that. You pooched that hard.
Yeah.
That's
Really
terrible.
didn't go well.
There's no analog stick. I gotta use the Wiimote, and I'm not used to that. Okay. There's a delay.
That was pretty good. Okay, there you go.
Also, the other half of what makes the formula work so well is that it's played in third person, but the second you bring the camera up, it's in first person.
Yeah.
So it becomes really personal
Yeah,
really quick.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. One of the few things where, like, those technical limitations we were just talking about are actually a good thing. Like, the fact that they were like, oh, well, how are we going to make something that uses a camera effect? And you making it first person with the third person is awesome.
Now I have a question for you guys. Oh, what is over your show? What's going on? Who are they? What are they? They don't look friendly.
Yeah, as Snipe Hockey says, face the fear of the nope moment.
Want to nope right on out. Now here's a question: do you think the basic setup of Fatal Frame would work in an American setting?
If you do it like maybe in the Northeast,
yeah,
like Maine or New York,
like something Alan Wakey.
If you think, yeah, like New England, although that's actually Northwest, but you could do that too. Like so, anywhere like basically anywhere Stephen King might set one of his books. Like I think you could do it there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like Lawless, maybe not.
So Condemned takes place in an urban environment, though, right? It's in a city. Am I insane?
Yeah, no, it's a city. Yeah, but Condemned is. It's not ghosts.
It's killers, right?
It's something is making people act strange, and then
I don't want to
other strange things also happen.
Cool.
I feel like our ghost culture is so very different from Japanese ghost culture.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not entirely sure, because it's specifically the idea of ghosts and taking photos of them that I'm not sure if it would work.
You know, like Susan,
I think like spirit photography is, that's not a Japanese thing.
True.
And someone else mentioned a game called Dreadout, which I've been meaning to play for a long time because it's very similar to Fatal Frame. It's been on Steam for a long time. It was early access. I don't know if it's out or not, but I'd really like to try that one too.
I don't know if you guys agree with me, because there is a distinctly Japanese flavor to it, but I've always felt like Silent Hill seems very American horror to me. Because it's all, like, it's not just about, like, a specific time of, like, cultural demon or a type of ghost that comes from a cultural tradition. It's, like, ideas of, like, demonic possession and psychological trauma. Like, it feels like it's rooted in a more distinctly American ideas of what's scary. Like,
I'm laughing. Rely on Horror has selfie combos with ghosts. Hashtag YOLO, hashtag ghosts, hashtag OMG.
Oh my god, like, if it was like an iPhone instead of a camera.
Is it? No.
God, that's the best idea anyone's ever had.
Is it
a Fatal Frame, but it has to be selfies?
Yo-Allo? Is it Yo-Allo? You only afterlife once?
Oh.
You only afterlife once.
Yodo, you only die once. This is some freaky stuff going on right now. What, is she trying to get the mask off? Is that why she's...
She's recalling a memory, and, like, I would guess she's probably a Shrine Maiden.
Yeah.
That's just, I'm going to throw that out there. She probably is.
Put that out there, Columbo, using your detective skills.
Yeah. One more thing. You may be a Shrine Maiden. Something's really been bothering me. I can't get it out of my head.
Why are you kind of wearing lederhosen? What is that?
What's something wrong with your knees? How come you can't seem to separate?
Are you a kangaroo? What is that? Character in Mortal Kombat, Matlock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. I'm tweeting that right now.